Welcome guys to this new episode of Germany and How It Is. Today I'm talking about East Germany and the Iron Wall. If you wonder, yes, the wall is down. It's about 24 to 25 years ago, depending on the date, what you count. But you still get in contact with this topic till today. The wages in East Germany lower, the job situation there is not so good. A lot of people move from East to West Germany. You also have a different mentality. You have in all areas of Germany, north, south, east, west, in the middle of Germany, you all have different mentalities. You get into contact with this topic today, but it's getting better. Even if a lot of people still think in those east-west cliches. So anyway, the younger people will get over it, and it comes together what belongs together some way. Even if the job situation there is not so good, they have still the better roads and all of the taxes. The West German people pay a tax to East Germany, and now it's a big discussion if it's still useful and so on and on, because in West Germany the big cities or all cities and rural areas and so on lack the money for the infrastructure, and there are bad roads and so on. And in East Germany they have all the money and can build those roads, but they don't have heavy industry and big companies. But what's my experience? This is just a general overview. I'm not going so much into detail. What I'm talking more about is my experience with East Germany. I was there when the Iron Wall was still there, because you see there in the passport, I put a picture from a very old passport that I was there, and there was still existing the Iron Wall and the borders and the guards with the guns. So I was a kid, don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that, but I still have those images in my mind, with a guard heavy armed and control everything and do the stamps. Was very fearful in a way, also claustrophobic, because you go behind those iron wall and there is no color. In my memories there's no color in a way. It's not a black and white, but it's gray. No colorful houses, no nice streets. When you walk nowadays in Germany and even in East Germany, it all looks very nice. But when it was in East Germany, though, in the Iron Wall time, they don't have money and they don't anything at all, and it was really depressing in a way. So why was I there? Not for holiday. I have relatives there and we visited. I also have relatives over there in now Poland, former Germany part, and it was occupied till 1990, and after all the Iron Wall goes down, those occupied parts occupied by the Polish people, by the Polish country, go over to Poland, and there were former German areas, German land. So guys, I had to go to inside because it started a little bit to rain and was more windy. So anyway, so I have relatives in East Germany and also have relatives in Poland. And to make it more clear, I will call today East Germany Middle Germany, and the now Polish land is the former East Germany. And it belonged to Germany till the 1990s, but was occupied by the Polish people. The Polish people were occupied it because the Russian people occupied the East Poland and pushed the Polish people more west. And so Poland was on the winner side after the war and occupied East Germany. Middle Germany was the German Democratic Republic, which is today East Germany. I will show it on a map for you, that it is a little bit more clear. So anyway, I had relatives there in both parts, in the East Germany and or Middle Germany, and the occupied Polish people occupied East Germany. And for those relatives there in the Polish occupied areas, it was not very nice for them because they were Germans. It was not allowed for them to speak German, to do their German traditions and so on. We lost the war, the Germans, and all the bad things that happened with the war, the Polish people and on those times was not really nice. I don't know why they stayed there. I have other relatives that escaped from the Russians. They lived also in the former East Germany and escaped from the Russian people or the Soviet people and the Soviet army and moved to northern Germany. One part of my family is from northern Germany. Some are from middle Germany. Some there from the real East Germany. And then they come together all here in the south. So, yeah, I don't know what it would be if we won the war would not be happen and so on. This is hätte, Fahrradkette, which means if. It's not like this, so maybe I would be a landlord there in the former East Germany and would rule big areas riding on my horse and don't have to do all the stuff I have to do now. Or maybe I had to fight in a stupid war because the war was never ending and so on and on. So what I'm saying, from my family, it was bad times for all those people at those times. Not only for Germans, for all people who suffered from the war. And mostly from the civilians and also the soldiers. War never good. So anyway, but we had never, you meet sometimes people who still go to some meetings and have some tradition and cry about the lost country and the lost homeland and so on. But we had never something like this. I never get, nobody ever told me this is your land and you have to take it back and stuff like that. For me the war is over, even if the people from me connected to and lost the land and so on. And also what I would say, you hear a lot of nostalgia about East Germany, now East Germany and the Iron Wall, and the people say, oh, it was there was the state and it was everything was be covered and so on. But my impressions when I was a kid was really depressing. It was not really free. I don't know what would be if I was a teenager and later growing up. I mean, if you cannot travel, if you cannot change the country living and you cannot change the living condition, you accept it because life goes on. My mother also told me stories when she was often there. They have always carried a passport and you have the Deutschmark. The Western Deutschmark was very strong and powerful and you could buy a lot of stuff. She also told me a story when she bought some porcelain there and came back, crossed the border, and the border guard said you cannot take this with you. They just said it was legal, but they say you cannot take it, we have to take it. And then my mother said, I know, you want to put it into your own bag. So you want to keep it for yourself, because those people in East Germany were very, very poor, and the communism wasn't such a nice thing. I think I never experienced it, but as far as I know, wasn't that nice for most of the people. So, and they tried to catch everything they could. And then my mother said, I know you want to take it for your own, but if I cannot take it with me, I will put it there on the ground, smash it on the ground and destroy all the porcelain. And the guard was shocked and what should I do? And then he let my mother pass away, that she can go and take it with her. So it was also in in Poland once. It was after the Iron War, to visit some relatives there. I was only there once because it's not near to the family. It's this and this, a little farther away. But it was after the war. But it was in the 90s, in the mid-90s or end of the 1990s, stuff like that. It was still not so nice there. It was all, as I mentioned, it like in East Germany, it was all gray and depressing, and the economy was not very good. Things are now changed in Poland as far as I know. And yeah. And I think it's better that the wall is down, that the people can travel, that the economy goes is fine, the people can move around and can do all their stuff and nonsense and so on and on. And nobody telling you all the time what to do and what not to do. So that's just from me, just a little impressions. But the Iron Wall was therefore from 1945, or let's say 1948, 49, something like that, till 1998, 1990. It was a long period of time, and it was a totally different system. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, you still get the difference sometimes in the media that there's a difference between East Germany and West Germany, and also the Eastern European countries, not all of them have a good development, and they're coming. Czechs and Poland and so are coming and still doing fine at the moment. So that's all a knock talk. I think I get a little bit lost or something like that. Just for you, just some personal experience. And the life goes on. And you have sometimes to accept not so nice things, but always make the best of your life. So, till the next time, guys. Cheers.